What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Street Fighter Duel video. Okay, guys, topic. I want to talk about this because it's something that gets brought up so damn often, and I want to put it to bed right now because I think there's a lot of you here that feel like you have to choose one or the other. And what I'm talking about here is simply Guile versus C Viper. All right, what I want to do is just do a comprehensive breakdown of each character one last time because I've done a showcase for both of them, but I want to do a comprehensive breakdown and explain to you guys what you should do with both characters. Now, first and foremost, this is my free-to-play account. As you guys are aware, I'm completely free-to-play. I don't use mercenaries, right? I have never used mercenaries once since I've done this entire account, and I do have both Guile and C Viper set up. Now, here's the mercenary section. You can see here completely empty. It's never been touched. I've got to 2640 by myself without any help of any other units but the ones I've built. Now, if you've seen any of my tier lists, you guys do know I always say if you are F2P, C Viper and Guile are going to be considered SS units for you. This is not to say that they're not SS units. They, as a matter of fact, are pretty much the top two damage dealers in the game for almost anybody. It doesn't matter if you're Whale or if you are free to play. The reason why I suggest free to play is because they're accessible. That's why I call them free to play versus, someone like MH Ken or, someone like Bison, etc., who are more pay to win units because you have to take quite some time to get them. But with Guile and with C Viper, they're not the case. Now let's do a quick breakdown. I want to do a side by side breakdown. Let's start off with the first thing, we're going to talk about is their FSs. So HP attack, defense, damage, HP attack, defense, damage. Let's go to Guile's real quick and look at his HP attack, pressure, damage. Very, very close. Go back here again to Viper. So only difference there is defense bonus versus dodge. Everything else is better. She's actually got better damage bonus. So her Master Spy, when other ally fighters perform a super combo or just regular combo, Viper has a 40% chance to do armor energy. If you don't know what armor energy is, we're going to talk about that real quick just so you're aware of what it is. Armor energy increases damage and effective accuracy by 5%, stacks up to 5 times, Remember that. That's 25% more damage. Damage, not attack. Damage. That's really, really crazy. And also, effect accuracy by 25%, which means the burns, the shocks will all land. If any stuns are involved, it will land. And there's an important, she doesn't have a stun, but it's important to note this because she gives armor energy to other units with her FS, So let's go back to that FS real quick and talk about it, And I want to explain to you guys the importance between the two. So her assist is one of the best assists in the game. So that alone is worthwhile. So whenever somebody performs a combo or super combo, she jumps in with Seismic Hammer and damages the enemy with 121% of her attack every time. So if someone does 2 combos, she comes in twice. Keep that in mind. That's quite a bit of damage coming through. Now, at plus 10, at 5 times armor energy, super combo triggers an additional smash. So now you do more damage with your super combo, adding additional smash to the original 2 that's already there. So now you're doing 3 hits. At 5% energy, at 5 times energy, armor energy, perform a combo will trigger an additional strike that deals AoE flame damage equal to 187% of attack to targets within range. Now you're adding additional AoE. So now you got 1, 2, 3 AoE. So that's 4 attacks, guys. 4 attacks, And then the last one here, at 5 times energy, further energy will be gained by transfer to random teammates. So not only are you giving yourself 25% more damage and 25% more effective accuracy, you're also giving, after the 5 you have, other people the same bonus. So let's say you have Bizang on your team, which you most likely will. Well, if he gets armor energy, his stun will now be more effective because he has effect accuracy. If you have someone like, trying to think of somebody else who's a damage dealer. Let's just say you have Cammy, right? Cammy starts getting that for bosses, armor energy. Now she does way more damage because now her damage skyrockets due to this buff. This here alone makes her OPAF. So you want to aim for FS30, So let's go back to Guile's now for a second and talk about Guile's for a second, So Guile does Saber Kick. Saber Kick replaces Somersault, kicks out 2 times, dealing damage of 522 to each enemy and inflicting armor break, so that's incredible already as it is. Consumes 1 saber when possible to increase the skill's damage by 20%, so increasing this by additional 20%, so that puts it at 540 542. And at 3 times Saber, the skill consumes 2 more and does an explosion. At 5 times, it does 2 explosions, doing 288% of attack. So this is a crazy multiplier, including armor break on top of that and Saber. You're killing it for damage, okay? For a raw damage perspective, Guile will beat Sea Viper sometimes. Sometimes, okay? And there's reasons why. Takes effect when the fighter is in assist position, 25% chance to gain Saber when the assisted fighter deals range damage. So, unfortunately, this is not as good because it's limited to ranged units only. Physical units will not get this bonus. So, compare the two assists, Sea Viper wins hands down, okay? This is not as good of an assist. Unlock at plus 10, Saber Kick increases damage resistance by 30%. This is important. Where Sea Viper gains additional bonuses to damage, he actually gains additional bonuses to damage resistance, which is crazy, making him extremely tanky at this point. And he can, as a ranged unit, can survive quite a few hits. So this is actually an amazing thing for him to have because you want Guile to survive in order to do as much damage as he possibly can. The difference is Sea Viper does more damage. He does damage resist, making him tankier. So they kind of complement each other. At 20, becomes immune to control, obtains super armor when unleashing Saber Kick. So again, can't be knocked down, can't be stunned, can be interrupted though. Keep that in mind. Saber Kick's bonus explosion effects no longer consume Saber stack. So these explosions here that we were talking about, 5 times Saber, will no longer take Saber away and will just add an additional damage. Now, if you don't know what Saber does, let's talk about Saber real quick. Saber, each stack allows the fighter's attack to ignore 7% of enemy's defense, stacking up to 5 times and cannot be dispelled. This actually gets pushed to 7 times with the cars, okay? So, what's the difference between Guile and Sea Viper? Guile gets damage resist, Sea Viper gets damage bonus, and then also provides the armor energy to everybody in the team, transferable to everybody in the team, while Guile just no longer removes his buff and just does more damage. So, all in all, from a damage perspective, Guile will do more damage, Sea Viper will do less damage, but will provide the team more damage. So, think about that, right? That's a big deal. Now, skill-wise, we know this is an AoE, hits the front 2 targets. We know Vipers is an AoE, hits the back 2 targets. Okay, so Assassin versus frontline attack, okay? Does armor break? Sea Viper does not do armor break. Okay, keep that in mind. C1 does armor break, does a single damage attack. Sea Viper C2 is an AoE flame attack that does detonation, and whoever has burn, it instantly does the damage right away with detonation. Okay, so there's a difference here. This obtains Saber, hers does detonation. So realistically, the AoE, in my opinion, Sea Vipers is going to win this specific combo. C3, they both have a C3. Now this here has 502%, stacks 3 times. We just learned about the explosions with the FS, right? So consider this about 1,000% by the time it's done. 1,000%, okay? It also does Saber. We talked about the explosions, etc., right? If you go back to Sea Vipers, let's see her percentage. Right here. Does 264% and 264%. Combine those, 500 something. Includes thunder damage and flame damage, right? And also does shock and burn at the same time. So less in the percentile for damage, but does additional shock and burn debuffs, right? So that's very important to note. And at the same time, remember, with her energy armor, this is going to increase by 25% more damage on this entire attack, making her an absolute juggernaut for hitting. So again, so far, Guile wins raw damage, Sea Viper wins utility, okay? Because again, debuffs, you're going to require some for bosses while you won't need any for others. So if it's no bosses required, Somersault Kick or Saber Kick will win. If it does require it, then Sea Viper will win. All right. So remember, we talked about their passives already. Armor Energy versus Saber. I think Armor Energy is way better personally. Shredding defense. Defense is a very minimal stat. Damage resistance is a whole other stat altogether. That's the one you want to reduce. But if you increase damage versus attack, this is a better passive easily, in my opinion. Easily. Right? So, and the fact it's transferable. Now let's talk about their garage. Earth Split Storm, when allied fighters' HP is below 40%, so hers, removes all armor energy. Each stack grants a dispellable shield to 10% of max HP. So this also includes other allies, not just her. Don't be mistaken here, because the other people will get the transferable energy, armor energy, and if they lose If they go below a certain percentage, she'll buff them. So essentially, she becomes a buffer as well too, right? And then last one, no longer removes armor energy. When this effect triggers, each stack of armor energy fills the super combo gauge by 50. Now she's also filling your combo gauge, so making her a buffer and a combo gauge increaser. Absolutely incredible. For what she brings, she becomes a jack of all trades and excels in damage. Let's look at Guile's real quick. Garage. Allied fighters' range attacks have a 30% chance to grant Guile Saber. Good, but again, only if you have ranged units. If you don't, they're all physical melee. He doesn't get that bonus. Saber may stack up to 7 times. So, of course, 2 more stacks, you got another 14%. So not as good. Definitely not as good. It's still a good thing to have. It's more damage, but not as good as Sea Vipers. So, what does this say overall, guys, about both units? Here's what it says about both units, okay? From a raw damage perspective, Guile will do more damage because he's a cleave unit. All of his moves, except for a C1, is all AoE, and they're built to do shredding opponents down quickly, okay? Sea Viper, on the other hand, is a assassin back AoE unit, which will also destroy units with her C3 and her special. They both do incredible damage. Utility-wise, Viper brings more to the team. Guile brings less to the team. But Guile does more damage. So, who do you build? I have Sea Viper as my main DPS. She's carried me without any mercenaries or anybody in a month and 30 days. I think we're almost at a month and 30 days. So almost 2 months at 2640 on her own with Bizang. Okay? Guile could do the exact same thing. So let me just say this to make it clear. This ain't East Side versus West Side. This ain't no hip-hop war. This ain't Tupac versus Biggie. If both of them stayed alive, we have two of the best iconic rappers of all time. Now, how does this relate to what I'm talking about? Build both. You're gonna need both. They are two of the best, easy, free-to-play units in the game. You're going to eventually need multiple teams. You already do in some PvP modes. You're gonna need it in PvE. Build both units. Do not stop yourself from building one or the other. Who's better, Sea Viper or Guile? Let's be real. To me, even playing field. Guile will be better in some fights. Sea Viper will be better in some fights. It's gonna happen where you're gonna need both. Stop making this a Tupac and Biggie thing, guys. This ain't a feud. This is a game. Build both. Focus on them as your main 2 damage-dealing units in the game. Get Bison up with them. Get Bizang up with them. And I promise you, either choice will be relevant and will take you as far as you need to go in the game. As long as you progress with breakstones and fighter level EXP, you can't go wrong with either. FS30 both. Get 6 cards for both. And watch your numbers skyrocket and watch you beat content fairly easily, all right? That's my opinion, guys, on either or, Guile or Sea Viper. Do your damn self a favor. Build them both up as soon as possible. You saw the comparison. You know which one's going to be better for your playstyle, but don't get it twisted. They're both just as good as one another. All right, guys. Payne, hope this video helped out. I'll talk to you guys on the next one.